Hosting a website on a disposable vape. For a couple of years now, I have been collecting disposable vapes from friends and families. Why? Initially, I only salvaged the batteries for future projects. It's not hoarding, I promise. But why do you need the batteries? You could just get that. Anyways, but recently, disposable vapes have gotten more advanced. I wouldn't want to be the lawyer who one day will have to argue how a device with USB-C and a rechargeable battery can be classified as disposable. Thankfully, I don't plan on pursuing law anytime soon, okay? Last year, I was tearing apart some of these fancier pacifiers for adults when I noticed something that caught my eyes. Instead of the expected black blob of goo hiding some ASIC, application-specific integrated circuit, I see a little integrated circuit inscribed Puya. I don't blame you if this name doesn't excite you as much as it does to me. Most people have never heard of them. I've never heard of Puya before. They are more well known for their flash chips, but I first came across them after reading Jay Carlson's blog post. Isn't that the guy that works at NVIDIA? The cheapest flash microcontroller you can buy. They are quite capable little ARM Cortex micro. Oh, so it's just an ARM chip, okay? Over the past year, I've collected quite a few of these PY32 based vapes. All of them from different models of vapes from the same manufacturer. I would really love to see this guy's collection. Does he have like a picture anywhere of his collection of vapes? I feel like that would be pretty cool to see. It's not my place to do a free advertising for Big Tobacco, so I won't mention the brand I got it from. But if anyone who worked on designing them reads this, thanks for labeling the debug pins, okay? What are we working with? The chip is marked Puya, which wasn't very helpful. I was pretty sure it was PY32F002A, but after poking around, this is like real nerdy stuff. Sometimes I think I'm a nerd, and I read articles like this, and I realize I'm not that bad. But I mean, this is pretty cool. I would love to, I guess, live this life. I noticed that the flash was 24K. That's nothing. How can you host a website with that? And we have 3K of RAM. How can you host a website with that? The extra flash meant that it was more likely a PY32F002B, which is actually a very different chip. So here are the specs of a microcontroller, so bad. It's basically disposable. 24 megahertz, 24 kilobytes of flash storage, 3 kilobytes of static RAM, a few peripherals, none of which we'll use. You may look at those specs and think it's not much to work with. Yeah, I don't believe you can do it. Who wrote this article? Bogdan. I don't believe you can do it, Bogdan, but let's see. I don't blame you. A 10-year-old phone can barely load Google, and this is about 100x slower. I, on the other hand, see a blazingly fast web server. I really hope when he hosts it, I can actually tap on it and see how fast the website is or whatever, but let's see. The idea of hosting a web server on a vape didn't come to me instantly. In fact, I've been playing around with them for a while, but after writing my post on semi-hosting, the penny dropped. If you don't feel like reading that article, semi-hosting is basically syscalls for embedded ARM microcontroller. Yeah, nerdy stuff. Okay, if you're older than me, you might remember a time before Wi-Fi and Ethernet, the dark ages when you had to use dial-up modems to get online. I remember that time. You might also know that ghosts of those modems still linger all around us. Almost all USB serial devices actually emulate those modems. A 56K modem is just 57,600 baud serial device, data between. So I really have no idea what this guy's saying right now. Just show me the hosting, okay? Let's see what this is doing. Sudo IP. So I guess it's just forwarding things. And he's gonna connect, I'm guessing, but I'm gonna read on, but I'm guessing he's connecting the vape to the modem. And then he's doing some forwarding from that to the actual web server. Okay. Okay, so we have a modem, but that's hardly a web server. To actually talk TCP IP, we need an IP stack. There are many choices, but I went with UIP because it's pretty small, doesn't require an RTOS, and it's easy to port to other platforms. It's also helpfully comes with a very minimal HTTP server example. So how fast is a web server running on a disposable microcontroller? Well, initially not very fast. Pings took 1.5 seconds. That's not so bad. That's not bad. I would expect like 10-second pings with 50% packet loss, and a simple page took over 20 seconds to load. That's honestly not so bad. If you build a website with Next.js, I feel like it takes around 20 seconds to load anyway with all the server-side rendering and so on. So yeah, this is not the worst. But what website was he hosting on there? Was it a website that just says hello world, or did it have JavaScript? Okay, it probably didn't have JavaScript, but the project repo has everything set up to Nice balance, latency, and RAM usage. For this blog, however, I paid for none of the RAM, so I'll use all of the RAM. As you may have noticed, we have just under, that may not be enough to ship all of the React, but as you can see, it's more than enough to host this entire blog. But oh my God, this hosted on there. This is not just a static page server. You can run any server-side code you want. Oh my God, this is actually, let me refresh this. Is this actually hosted? Wait, this is fast. So this website is being hosted from a Vape.